I don't have like huge words of wisdom this week. Sometimes I just can't find them. Um, and so we let the movement speak for what the words aren't coming. Lie down on your mat this morning, and we are starting there. Lie down on your back. Welcome yourself to Wednesday morning yoga practice. As you lie down on your back, pull your knees into your chest. If you happen to have a yoga block handy for practice, it'll be useful today. If not, no worries, we make do. As you lie back here, pull the knees into the chest and give yourself a good little squeeze. Rock a bit from side to side. Take the hands out to a T shape and then lower both knees over to the right side. Settle your breath. Give it a moment here in the twist. And then bring the knees across the center and lie them down to the second side. Knees over towards the left. And again, just give it a couple of breaths. So a little different today. I usually start class with pretty big upright movements. We're gonna spend just a little time here on the mat first. Bring the knees in and then set the soles of the feet down to the mat. As you bring the soles of your feet to the mat, let the knees fall in. So it just gives you that tiny bit of extra support. With knees in, place the hands over your belly. Maybe even close the eyes. The idea here is to feel a sense of heaviness and support from the ground, from the yoga mat underneath you. Every time, nice full inhale, feel the breath push into your hands. And then on the exhale, breath moves away from the hands and get heavier towards the mat. Change, heel toe your feet together and let the knees fall out towards either side and let the hands open to the side. Palms up. So a supine Baddha Konasana, butterfly pose, lying down on your back. A sense that knowing that we have the steady ground underneath us, there's support there to be open, to be in this practice, in the flow. Okay, and then we change again. Pull the knees back in. Both legs straight. Reach the arms overhead. Be as long as you can from your fingertips down to your toes. And then pull the right knee into your chest. Hold both hands around the front of the shin and give it a good little squeeze in. Just a little change here. Take the right hand at the top of the shin, the left hand at the ankle, and then let the knee angle out towards the right shoulder as the heel pulls in more towards the center midline of the body. And then change the hands, left hand where your right hand was and vice versa. So left hand at the top of the shin, closer to your knee, right hand down at the ankle. So it pulls your leg back into a very parallel position, lower leg parallel to the ground. It's just little bits of movement and change in the directionality of the hip. Finally, sole of the left foot on the ground, figure 4 shape, cross the right ankle over the left knee, point the knee out to the side, and pull the left leg in, thread the arms to hold behind the left thigh or on top of the left shin. In terms of the poses today, we'll have the most focus on eagle pose. So we're going to try the eagle legs right here. Unleash your arms, take them back out to the T shape, and then take your right leg and cross it as far as you can over the left. And this can help get you the squeeze in the legs. And as you cross the right thigh over the left, you want to cross as high up towards the pelvis as possible. So then as you squeeze and get that second wrap of the right foot, it can go to the outside of the left shin. Helps us to do this on our back first so we kind of know where we're working for once we get up and try to start balancing with it. And then maybe it's right foot behind the calf. I'm trying to get my toe down towards the Achilles heel there. And then squeeze both knees into your chest as much as you can. Lots holding there. If you're like me, this is early on. I feel such a tight squeeze in the hips. We'll see if through practice we can get a little release there. Unwrap your legs, soles of the feet, back down onto the ground. Give it a breath. Exhale and release out. And then we'll try it on the second side. Pull the left knee into your chest. Extend the right leg along the ground. And then a slight change in the hip direction. Hold on, left hand to the top of the shin, right hand down to the ankle. Let the knee angle out and the heel angle in. These sort of preparatory movements can be really nice and helpful for the longevity of practice in particular, and that's what I'm always interested in. Switch hands, right hand at the top of the shin, left hand down at the ankle. Okay, and then we'll go to the third position. Sole the right foot on the ground. Cross the left ankle over the right knee. Point the left knee out to the side so you get that figure 4 shape. And pull the right leg in. And taking the right foot off the floor, even here, that's a variation. You can keep it down if that's better for you. Fold the hands in if it works. Okay, and then we'll go for the eagle legs. So unwrap the arms and try to cross the left leg as high as you can on the thigh over the right. And if the feet were to stay apart, it'd be like your shoelace pose a bit in yin yoga. But instead, we're going to wrap the feet towards each other. So we're trying to squeeze in. And get the outer edge of the left foot to the outside edge of the right calf, or wrap behind the foot. So just in the legs here. And then pull the knees a little closer into the chest if possible. Squeeze it in. Push the knees slightly away. Unwrap. Soles of the feet on the ground. And then have the feet as wide as your yoga mat. Knees as wide as the feet. And like windshield wipers, take both knees over to the right. Across the center and over to the left. Across the center and back over to the right. Keep the legs just like this so that your left knee is close to your right foot. If you want to add on a little more stretch here, take the right ankle to the outside of the left thigh and give it a little bit of pressure. You should find a nice little stretch down the outer hip to outer knee. Okay, and then set the right foot back down. If it was lifted, take the knees across and let them fall to the other side. Again, left foot can step on top of the outer right thigh to give it a little more pressure down. And that kind of push down. What we're looking to do here is really widen across and lengthen in the psoas. And you kind of feel that in the body. At least I do here through the outer right hip. Okay, set the left foot down, pull it all in. And then safely come up to a seated position. You can sit in cross-legged or sit back on the heels any way that feels right. As we sit up here, close the eyes or turn your gaze low. Perhaps even just this seat feels more steady, more easeful after rolling around on the ground a bit first. Drop the chin down to your chest, left ear over towards the left shoulder, and then keep it going. Do a full head roll. 2 times in the same direction. And then switch directions. Start left ear over towards the left shoulder. If it doesn't feel good to drop the head all the way back, of course don't. You can just go through half moon shapes or just pick it up along the back instead. And keep the chin down to the chest. Take both hands behind the head and push the head a bit into the hands. Light stretch on the length of the spine here, and find a little strengthening in the abdomen as if you're trying to pull your navel, your belly button back towards the spine, away from your shirt. Okay, release the hands, lift the chin, open your eyes. Let's come over to all fours. Place the hands under the shoulders and the knees under the hips. Just keep opening up with gentle movement today. So cat and cow here. Every time you breathe in, pull the chest forward, eyes and tailbone up. Let the belly release. And then every exhale, press down through the hands and knees, round the back and drop the head. Just back and forth we go. Find your own pace. What feels nice. We'll get into some more intense movement as we go through practice. But I'm hoping this slower, gentle start will keep us in that mindset of just really finding the grounding and the steadiness of this practice and this movement to help us through each day right now. Okay, downward facing dog. Tuck the toes, lift the hips up and back. Nice, whole breath out. Pedal the feet a little back and forth as we get into this more rigorous movement in the body. And then look in between your hands and step the right foot all the way through into a low lunge. Keep stepping until knees over ankle, fingertips in line with our toes. Tendency is to push down and forward here. I want you to pull yourself up and back. Straighten the left leg, and then take the right hand up into our twist. And lower the right hand to the inside of the right foot. Spin the back heel down. Walk your hands out towards the front left corner of the mat for down dog lunge. Just like in the lunge before, think more hips up and back so that you keep your left foot flat on the mat. Okay, remember that figure 4 shape. We'll take it from down dog here. So you come back to a regular lunge and then swing your right ankle towards the left side. Hook it over your leg. Point the right knee out to the side as you bend the left knee and sit into this figure 4 shape and down dog. And step the right foot down. We'll give it a go on the second side. Step the left foot all the way through. Long, low lunge. More weight in the right leg, the back leg than the front if you can get it. Add the twist, left arm up to the sky. Looking good there. Let's take it to down dog lunge. Hands to the inside, spin the back heel down. Walk the hands out towards the right corner of the mat. I know many of you are pretty familiar with these three lunges on each side. It's my favorite way to start practice. And then we come back in. Suki dog is that figure 4 shape. Cross the left ankle over the right thigh. Bend the right knee. Sit back into it. Set 2 feet back down to the mat. Inhale, come forward to plank. Lower flat down to the belly, all the way down. Reach your hands back behind you, turn the palms to face up, and then let's lift everything that we can up. Lift, 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 and squeeze in towards the middle. Squeeze the heels in. Lift the thumbs a little higher than the rest of the hand. And lower it down. Push back to child's pose. Push your hips to sit back towards the heels. And come on back up to child's pose. With the hips staying down to all fours. With the hips staying right here in all fours, take the right arm under the left. And then shoulder, ear, side of the face down to the mat. Reach your left arm out in front of you. Tendency is to let the hips fall towards the left side here. But you can use the pressure in the left hand, the extended arm, to kind of pull the hips back so that they stay square. Okay, we want to keep that, but then you can go left arm up to the sky, or even drop it behind the right hip. Everyone take the left hand back beside your face and use it to come on up to all fours. Okay, second side, take the left arm out to the side and then thread it underneath, shoulder, ear, side of the face, down to the mat. Just like before, you can take the right hand out in front or up to the sky or behind the right hip. Good. Extend the hand back beside your face and use it to help you come up. Downward facing dog for all of us. Look forward in between the hands and make your way to the front end of the yoga mat. There at the front of the mat, stay in a forward fold. Keep the knees bent, hold on to your elbows like ragdoll pose and sway a little bit from side to side. And then ever so slowly, roll up to standing. Roll the shoulders up and back as you get here. And shoulders forward and down. Find your mountain pose, whether it's feet a bit apart or all the way together. Look straight ahead, extend your arms down, turn the palms in. Lift the arms up to the sky. And then wrap right arm under the left. Hold on to your shoulders. Pull your elbows as high as the shoulders. Good. First stage. Or back of the hands. Or wrap a second time to the front of the palms. So we've got eagle arms here. The direction of the shoulder blade should be moving away from the back, if you will, out towards either side. Rather than letting the elbows hug in close to the chest, try to give yourself an extension of the elbows out away. And then we're adding a little lean here. Lean the arms to the right, torso a bit to the right, and then come back to the center. Lean to the left, and come back to the center. Keep the arms as is, right foot stays there. Step the left foot back into a high lunge. And do that lean one more time. Lean to the right. Back to the center. Okay, this is gonna throw us off balance. We do our best. Lean to the left. It's for the sake of knowledge and knowing where is the middle. Come back. Find your center. Good. Step both feet all the way forward. Unwrap the arms. Take them up to the sky. And then you're going to do second side, left arm under the right. Come back. Hold your shoulders. Back of the palms or front of the hands. So you've got 3 different holds on each side. We start by leaning to the left, to the middle, lean to the right, and to the middle. Step the right foot back. Find high lunge. And then lean to the left. Across the middle. Oh, it's so interesting, isn't it? Where is that center of balance and gravity? Lean to the right. And back to the middle. And then step forward. Release the arms. Take both arms up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold, touch the ground. We're moving into sun salutation A now. Extend from the hips out to the crown of the head. Hands can go as high as the thighs to get you that length in the spine. And then step back to plank pose, top of your push-up. Hold top of plank for a moment here. We're gonna go slow and steady through this first one. Squeeze the heels, squeeze the glutes. Lengthen your tailbone, tone the belly, look forward, forward, forward rather than down. Just a little past the hands. You're here, and then slowly lower down. Cobra, peel the chest up, but press your hands and top of the feet down. Think shoulders up and back. So if an eagle pose, we're trying to wrap the shoulders off of the back or away from each other. Here, you're doing the opposite. Squeeze it all in, tips of the shoulder blades towards each other. And then change to downward facing dog. Get there in one movement or a few, it doesn't matter. Down dog here, hold it for a couple of breaths. Okay, look forward in between your hands. Step, jump, or walk, top of the mat. Inhale, half lift, hands to thighs, shins, or even fingertips to the floor if you have a little more range of motion and lengthen your hamstrings. You can be lower. And then fold back into the legs. Inhale, stand up, reach the arms to the sky. Palms together, center of the chest. Reset, take a breath. We get to do it all again. A little quicker now, I'm just moving with the pace of the breath. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Step back to plank. Plank can always be from our toes or from the knees. And then nice and steady, lower down. Feel the chest up for Cobra or Bhujangasana. And then change, tuck the toes, lift the hips up and back. For downward facing dog is Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, look forward in between your hands. Exhale, step or jump to the top of the mat. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana is the half lift. Exhale, Uttanasana is the full fold. Stand up, reach the arms overhead, Urdhva Hastasana. Palms together, center of the chest. One more round, Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step back. With control, float down. Right into Cobra or even up dog is that straight arm and leg position with the hips up. And then down dog, hips up and back. Next, inhale, look in between the hands. Exhale, step or jump, front of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, stand up, reach the arms to the sky. And bring palms together, center of the chest. Utkatasana, bend the knees, sit into the thighs. It's chair pose. Sometimes called power pose as well. I like that one. Utka, really translated as fierce. So we can say fierce pose. Stay in it right here. Think tailbone straight down to the floor, so you're still trying to pull the torso up and down. Arms more up and down, more vertical. This is how I generally enter eagle pose. We've got to start here. Hips kind of into the pose already. Okay, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Step back to plank. Lower down to the mat. Cobra or up dog here, you always have the options. And then do downward facing dog. Now step your right foot in between the hands for low lunge. Give it a pause, a moment. And then spin the left heel down to the mat. Still turn the toes in a lot so they face the front corner of the mat. And come up for warrior one. Lift the torso, lift the arms. We're doing our best to square the hips towards the front of the mat here, but there's definitely a rotation in the torso, upper body, so that the shoulders and arms can be fully square to the front, short side of your mat. Just like in all other lunges, our tendency is still to put the weight into the front foot. Just each and every time, think more up and back to get your weight into the back leg. It'll help. Bend the right knee more, but keep pushing into the back leg. Finally, lower the hands on either side of the front leg, pick up the back heels, step back to plank. Lower to your mat. Cobra or up dog. And then downward facing dog. Second side, step the left foot forward. Again, we're going really slow here. Find your low lunge, and then spin the back heel down, toes point towards the front right corner of the mat. Hands can come to the hips as you bring the torso upright. And with that back hand on the back hip, it's going to want to open to the side. So we just do a little bit of direction and effort, knowledge that we're working our way towards squaring more off to the front. Don't do it at the expense of the back leg or the back foot, just what you can get. From that, lift the arms up. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Lower the hands either side of the front foot, step back to plank. Lower to the mat. Cobra or up dog. And downward facing dog. Stay here a couple breaths. Next, inhale, look to your hands, step or jump to the front of the mat. Half lift, forward fold. Again, fierce pose, bend the knees, sink into the thighs and hips, extend the arms out and up. Stand all the way up, bring the palms together, center the chest. Okay, one more round of Surya Namaskar B. Again, we'll take it quicker this time around. Chair pose is just half a breath now. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step back to plank. And that lowering down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Pull it into Cobra or up dog. And then down dog. Warrior one, step the right foot forward, spin back heel down, come on up, hands and torso, everything together. And then right away, we lower it back down, step through. You can hold plank here for 2 breaths or continue that flow series down with Cobra. And then everyone to dog pose. Second side, step your left foot through, right heel down, come up. Take a breath. Exhale, lower the hands, step back, lower down. Pull through Cobra. And everyone down dog. The sun salutations meant to give our mind a sense of repetition, the body nice and warm, Full stretch, full strengthening. Look forward between the hands, step or jump to the front. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Chair pose, bend the knees, sit into the thighs. And stand it up. Palms together, center of the chest. Notice your breath. Notice how you're responding, how you're feeling at this point in practice. You can release the hands, just give everything a little bit of a shake. Don't let it be too serious. Hike up our pants, all the things that we do. Okay, if you have a yoga block handy, we're going to use it next. If you don't have one handy, imagine that you do. That's the option. I've got 3 ways that I could place my block. I'm going to take it on the second widest and put it high up into the inner thighs and then try to squeeze the legs. So it's not quite the easiest way. The easiest way would be the most narrow position. I've got it a little wider there. Okay, squeeze it like you might feel like you're going to get bruises there tomorrow, but try to not. Bend the knees and sit back. Okay, these are the fun things that my teachers have taught me to visualize and make it help. Imagine that your legs are like a Pez dispenser. And at first you don't want to give that candy away and you're going to squeeze everything in so that you can hold on to the block. And then your dispenser is like you're trying to push the block, the imaginary block, the real block, back behind you. So you're going to tilt tailbone way out as if you're pushing the Pez out to the back. Got that? Sit a little lower into your thighs. Extend the arms out in front so that you're doing some counter action there. Counterbalance. And then can you squeeze in a little bit more? Push it out and back a little bit more. And as you stand up, pull the Pez back in, tailbone down, so that now the Pez starts to go out towards the front. Arms straight up to the sky. Okay, we did overly forward, we did overly back. As you sit into Utkatasana, chair pose again, I want you to do half of each. The thighs are pulling in, they're going back and apart, but at the same time, you're trying to get tailbone down a little bit and torso up. If your legs are on fire here, you're doing the right thing. Everyone reach down, drop the block off to the side. Keep doing all that you're doing. Change all of your weight onto your left foot. Like you can pick your right foot up and then change all of your weight to your right foot. Like you can pick your left foot up. We're doing it one more time, back to the first side. Pick it up. These are a little bit of some of the work that I do sometimes in our Triple B, more of a yoga sculpt class. Stand it all the way up and shake out the legs. That's it. That's all I'm using the block for. It goes out to the side. And then stand back up to the front of the mat. Lift both arms to the sky. Keep the right foot forward, step the left foot back, so you're in a high lunge. Now, you just imagine that you're squeezing the inner thighs together towards the midline, just like you did when there was a block there. Obviously, it's not there. It's the work, the actions, as if you were. All that stays with you. Hinge forward so that your belly lays down or comes very close to your right thigh. And we're adding a twist. Left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Right arm up to the sky. Right elbow up to the sky, I should say. So palms together. Push the right hand down. So Slowly tone and turn through belly and upper chest. Everyone, very slowly drop the left knee down to your yoga mat. Stay in the twist. And then inhale, come out of the twist. Lower the hands to the ground, kick your hips back, hamstring stretch, make the right leg straight. To make that more doable, hands could be higher there or to the inside of the leg. Even on the height of your block. Just looking for a good hamstring stretch down the front leg, back of the right thigh. Okay, we return all the way back to the front of the mat. Step the left foot forward, lift up, arms to the sky. Keep the left foot forward, step your right foot back. High lunge. You're here on the second side. Imagine that you still have the block to squeeze your thighs into and then hinge forward. So we want that foundation of the legs to stay really strong and steady for us. Take the palms together and then add the twist. Right elbow to or all the way to the outside of the front leg, palms together, point the left elbow up to the sky. And then you're not stopping there. Keep pushing the left hand down, which should give you a little lift of the head and torso to take a bit more twist. Think left elbow up to the sky. Adding in some balance elements just by moving the back knee down as slowly as you can. And then untwist, set the hands on either side of the front foot. This time step it all the way backwards to downward facing dog. Okay, once in downward facing dog, lift the right leg up into the air, three-legged dog. Step it all the way through into your low lunge. Warrior two, spin the back heel down, line up heel to heel, and then come upright as you lift your torso, shoulders right over the line of our hips here. So our energy, everything is really focused and open to the side. Extend the arms if you haven't already, and look out over past the front toes, front fingers and toes. And I do mean try to see the front fingers and toes. So if you just glance down and broaden that front knee wider towards the pinky toe side so that you can see your toes, that's what we're looking for. Flip the palms up, lift the right hand as high as you can into a back bend shape for the torso. And then go right elbow to the knee. Left arm palm down overhead for side angle pose. You choose today if you want to be here on the knee or try lower, hand to block or floor. Arm to the inside of the leg. Look down at the ground now, everyone, and come back to your low lunge. Step through plank. Hold, 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 plank. Down dog, lift the hips up and back. Okay, listen up here. We're going towards side plank, but with a kickstand foot. I want you to balance on your right hand. Scratch that. I want you to balance on your left hand and the outer edge of your left foot. Rather than stacking the feet like we might usually do in side plank, step your right foot halfway up your yoga mat. Turn the toes out to the side and then open to the side, right arm up. So we're using this as another key rotation in the hip. Rather than letting the hips fall down, push weight into that bottom right leg. Lift your hips up And get a good full stretch through the IT band. And then go again back to down dog. Second side now. Lift the left leg up. We'll start by stepping the left foot forward. So we do warrior two here first. Bend the back heel down. Come upright. Again, that nice big open energy, shoulders over the line of the hips. Extend the arms out. Even if we sit really low into the front leg, all the way towards that 90-degree angle, still most of the weight, try to push it back into the right side. Turn the palms up, reverse warrior or sun warrior. Lift the left arm. Right hand can go down your leg. And then change the side angle. Elbow to the knee, top hand, palm down, reach it overhead. I want a really good long reach through the top side of the body here. Left hand could go down lower. Don't really care today. You stay up, you go lower, whatever feels right. And then look down at the mat. Find your way to your low lunge. Step it back to down dog. And now we need that IT band stretch on the second side. So it's balance on your right hand. Turn to the outer edge of your right foot and step your left foot halfway up your yoga mat. Turn the toes towards the long side of your mat. And rotate, lift, left arm high. If you get really locked onto that bottom shoulder, try to keep squiggling your right foot further back to give yourself more of an angle, shoulder to wrist. Do little pulses with the hips maybe, really feel it in there. Okay, looking good, downward dog. Take it to child's pose for a moment. Knees as wide as your yoga mat, big toes together, and sit back. Come upright, sit back on your heels. Take your right hand up to the sky, and then give yourself a pat on the back. The other hand, take it to your elbow and make sure that elbow points straight up to the sky. Good, you can do just this top half of the pose. It's giving a good opening on the top shoulder. And then the option to add the other hand, it goes behind your back with the palm open. And try to crawl until the fingertips find each other. If you're like me, the hands don't find each other, so I grab air, or sometimes I hook onto my shirt, and that forms like a yoga strap would. Think top elbow straight up, bottom elbow hug it into the side. Release the bottom arm first if you have both, and then the top arm. Second side, so it's cow face arms. Left arm up, give yourself a pat on the back. So a lot of times this top elbow likes to go out to the side, especially if we're tighter in the shoulders. And the case is just try to get it in and up as much as you can. That's what we want to depend on, the top arm. And you can add the bottom arm. Yeah, and I see a couple of us like really rounding forward to try to get that catch. Sometimes that works and helps. But then as much as you can, come back upright. Push your back into your hands, your head into the upper arm. Okay, release the arms. Give everything a little bit of a shake. Change to a standing position here. Stand all the way up on your mat. Have your feet hip distance apart with your hands on your hips. And I'm going to find the bony points, the front of my hips, the anterior hip points. Hold on to those and then see if you can kind of bury those points in, which means I've got to do this. Bend the knees, lean a little bit forward. And it's like the hip points are trying to disappear into the hip socket. Okay? I find that the easiest position to get into eagle legs. So I'm way forward here in the torso, but I'm down in the thighs, which is going to give me more room to move in the hips. Take the right leg up and over, and I like manhandle here yourself to get it high up in that twist. Kick the heel in towards the bottom leg. Keep it there, or you do a little bit more to move the foot behind the calf. Now, upper body. Lift the torso first. Do whatever works with the hands to counterbalance yourself. And then, right elbow under the left, and we've had those 3 hand positions. Use any of them. This focus was on the legs, below. Come out of the hands. I often end up stepping forward there when I'm so low in the legs to get out safely. Shake it out. Cool. I see a couple of you have moved to have some support against a wall. You can use that for a hand. I used to always teach this in the yoga studio, like chair sit from the wall. So you could do it that way. And then you've got to get yourself off. Okay, second side. We find those anterior hip points again, and we bury them into the body best we can. All of my attention and focus is pretty far down and forward here. And I'm going to do my best and take the left leg now, up and over. And the point and thought of doing this with a little bit more time and effort is not just to get what you get, but to work for it a little bit more. Squeeze the outer shins together, and then maybe tuck the foot behind the calf. Then you try to lift up more steady. The higher you go in the torso, point the knees more forward and down to get the shoulders and head more back. And then we go left elbow under the right and back to the hands. Again, I'm treating the arms, upper body like they're secondary right now. And we want those good steady legs. Squeeze it in like you've still got that block to hold on to. Unwrap the legs, maybe step it forward to get out, and release. Cool, we're doing this all one more time with the focus being more about the upper body, less about the legs. Here we go, arms go up to the sky. Now, if we were trying to sit really deep into that chair before, now you're just barely bending the knees, and you're way more upright in the legs. Now you can bring your torso hopefully more upright than you could before, and you'll wrap the right leg on top. Worry less about the second wrap, but if it happens for you, go for it. Take the right arm under the left and go back to hold on to your shoulders or the hands. Core strength. Pull your navel away from your shirt, back, back, back towards the spine. And then lean back, as if you're leaning back into a wall. Try to lean back, shoulders back, head back. The more that you lean back, push your knees just slightly forward and down. Unwrap the legs. Keep the arms. Unwrap the arms. Lift up. Start again, little bend. Left leg on top of the right. Worry about the second wrap or don't. And then go to the arms. Left elbow under the right. Come back to hold on to your shoulders or the hands. Let the concentration be on the upper body. Try to lean back so you feel super upright, almost as if you're leaning backwards. Good, good, good. And then you unwrap the legs and you unwrap the arms. Travel up to the very top of the mat. Lift both arms to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Step back to plank. Lower flat down to the yoga mat and turn over onto your back. Stick your arms and your legs up into the air like a dead bug. One more eagle right here on our back. Cross your right leg over the left. Thread your legs. Right elbow under the left, thread the arms. Take the elbows and knees as far away from each other as possible so that your fingertips and toes almost touch the ground on either side. And then like a crunch, pull the elbows and knees in towards each other and lift your shoulders and head off the mat. We'll do it 5 more times. Open up and pull in. Open up and pull in. Open up, pull in, 2 more like this, open and squeeze, open and squeeze, dead bug, left over right, left arm under right, you're open, 6 total here, we've got 6 and open, 5 and 4, 3, 2, and 1. Dead bug. Pull both knees into your chest. Rock a little bit from side to side. Extend your legs back out. Flip back over onto your chest. Push up and back to downward facing dog. Bend your knees and walk your hands backwards to your feet. Forward fold at the end of your yoga mat. Bring hands to your waist, point the elbows to the sky, come all the way up to standing. Wrap your right elbow under the left, eagle arms. Full eagle pose, right leg on top of the left. Just do your best. You've had a couple of different versions and experiences. This is last time. Release the legs, release the arms, reach up. Cross the left elbow under the right. Take in the knowledge that you know, give it a go. Left leg on top of the right. Unwrap, arms and legs, lift up. Exhale, forward fold. Walk the hands back out to your feet, back out to downward facing dog. Drop the elbows down to the ground. All of this wrapping of the shoulders off of the back, we'll use it to our advantage here in dolphin pose. So forearms down. Bend your knees. Take your gaze more forward, more towards the hands rather than looking at your elbows or knees. Try to look slightly forward. As it works for you, then change. Look back towards your toes. Straighten your legs more. Pull your hips up over the line of your shoulders. And then everyone lower your knees down. Child's pose with knees closer together, and take your hands back to your feet. Let your head drop down. Okay, we get to do dolphin pose just one more time, and then we move towards very gentle work into Shavasana. So bring the hands back forward, forearms to the ground. A couple of different modifications to make this more doable. Interlace the hands, but keep the elbows only as wide as the shoulders. If you're using your yoga block, you could take your hands instead of clasp, but thumb and first finger like an L shape on either side. And every indication of this pose, try to keep the elbows only as wide as the shoulders. When they start to go off to the side, we lose a lot of the contact and strength along the spine. Okay, tuck the toes, lift the knees off of the ground. Dolphin pose for me is this funny thing. The more that you look forward here, you're going to squeeze the tips of the shoulders onto the back. But then more like eagle arms when you start to look back towards your toes. The tops of the shoulders are kind of wrapping away from one another more likely. Give it one more breath. And then nice and slow release back down to the knees. Head to the ground. Wrap the hands again back to find the feet. So the tops of the shoulders get to fully round down and forward. Change, come upright, and extend your legs straight out in front of you. So sit on your butt, extend the legs out. Lean your left hand out to the side and reach way over. Kind of like a little rainbow up and down here a few times. And then just come back across the center and do it to the second side. Reach the right hand out, left arm overhead. Yeah, just don't be afraid of movement, kind of down and up. And then back around to the middle. Reach forward, hold on to your feet or let the arms drop. If there's any strain along hamstrings or low back, bend your knees as you fold forward. That should feel better. Okay, come on up, lie down onto your back. Find your heaviness against the mat. In other words, get as much of the spine to touch your yoga mat, touch the ground as you can. Set the soles of the feet to the mat. Reach your hands to brush close to or right against the heels. Great counter pose for all the eagle work that we did. Let's go for bridge pose here. Press the feet, shoulders, head down. Lift your hips up, lift your thighs up. Done a lot of folding in on the hip flexor here. Just stretch it all out. Squeeze the tips of the shoulders in to broaden across the chest. And then lower it back down. Give it a breath or two. And then your choice to do a second bridge pose or just to stay as you are. Like, did that opening feel good? Do it again. Are you spent? Don't worry about it. Stay down. And then everyone lower, lower, lower. Do any last little bits of unwinding movement, maybe some of those windshield wipers or other movements that we did right off the beginning of class. Once you're done unwinding, find stillness, find a few minutes. Still the body. Let your attention, your awareness be on the breath until even that can kind of surrender and float away. Our yoga practice and the movement teaching us how to focus. How we want to spend our time and focus, and also when it's okay to let it be, let it go. Slowly bring awareness, attention back into your fingers, your toes, just a little bit of movement. And take your time to come back to a seated position. No rush at all. When you do find your seat, take palms together, thumbs to your sternum. Here in this gesture that means intention, that means offering. Continue to offer yourself the gifts of yoga practice throughout this day, throughout the coming week. Take this time to slow down, to ground, to do healthy movement in mind and body. I like to close with the sound of Om. You can sing along with me, you can listen, you can tune it out. It's a way of holding space from this time into a transition to the next. Okay, so empty the breath out and take a deep breath in. And again, in deepest gratitude to yourself, each other, and this practice. Thank you. Namaste.